Hello yogis and welcome back. Today I'm here with our third installment of tarot inspired yoga. And today we have the High Priestess, the second card of the Major Arcana. And the High Priestess is the yin to the magician's yang. So the magician was outward, stating his will and active, action-oriented, and the High Priestess is a passive intelligence. So she's a channel to the mysteries of the universe. And she's the mystery behind the veil. She is a feminine wisdom, so quiet, silent, open, and knowing. So this is a representation of both the tarot reader themselves and the meditator themselves. And today we're going to do a very meditative, quiet practice and open ourselves up to the stillness and silence within. So let's get going. So welcome. Let's find a comfortable seated position. Begin to deepen the breath, ground and quiet. Feel your sits bones settle to the earth. Feel your shoulders quiet. And a gentle inhale will rise up through the spine. Feel that lift up through the crown. Openness through the whole back of the neck and body. Openness through the heart. I've seen the High Priestess drawn with stars, the cosmos, where her chest would be. Imagine your heart space becoming actual space. Slowing the breath, I'll count it out for you. We'll inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And breathing on your own. Change the speed of the count to suit your body if need be. Become passive, allowing the breath to fill your body, no force. Allow your heart to beat steady, no force. Space around and through your heart. Take a deep inhale. Let's pull the hands up overhead. Stretching up into the fingers, the heart, and exhale. The hands sink slowly down. And take a deep breath into Om. Inhale, lifting through the fingers. Turning the palms away, imagine opening a light between your hands and clearing your space. Nice and slow, the chin sinks down. Let's turn the palms back up and inhale. Take your time. Present in your motion, exhaling into a twist, the right fingers to the left knee, left fingers down behind. Inhale and lift. Exhale, very gently turn to twist. Clearing your body. Feel a drain with the exhale. Let all tension wash away. Inhale, float back up through the fingers. Exhale, take it over to the right. Inhale, we rise. Exhale, turn to twist. Exhale, rush of release. Inhale and float. Exhale, the fingers back down, palms to the knees, chin to the chest. And imagine that there's a beam of light from the end of your nose, tip of your nose, drawing big circles now on the front wall, slowly beginning to open the back of the neck, very gently. Keep your breath steady. And smooth. We'll reverse direction. Feel what's going on through the back of your head and neck. If you need to pause, there's too much tension or you have a lot of cracking and popping, feel free. Come all the way back down. Finding center, lifting the head back up. And we'll move, if we're up on blocks or blankets, moving them away at this point. Taking the feet out long. Welcome to sit up tall. Sometimes I like to shift the glutes out a little bit, get a nice firm seat, and then walking the hands down toward the feet. So wherever you find your natural edge, be soft. And just gently let the head hang down. So maybe as you breathe, you'll be able to walk your hands a little farther forward. Let the head drop down toward the legs. Not to your fullest stretch right now, just be soft, bringing breath, bringing warmth. And with an inhale, taking hold of whatever you have access to. Maybe your feet, ankles, shins, and then with an inhale, we'll float up into the heart, gently lift the chin, the throat open, and then exhale, we'll drop the head and round back through the shoulders. Inhale, lifting forward and through. Exhale, release. Draw it back, rounding through the shoulders. Inhale, lift forward and through. Exhale. One more time. We'll inhale and rise. And then exhale, release over the legs. Let it all go. The backs of the legs melt and quiet. Feel symmetry through the body as you walk the hands back up and in. I'll take my socks off so I don't slip during this next part. Let's step into table pose. Fingers spread wide, middle fingers point forward, wrist creases under the shoulders, knees under the hips, and a few cat-cows. Continuing to warm the spine. finding center. We'll take the hands forward about a palm's length and rock forward to tuck the toes and shift the hips back, downward dog. Pressing the mat away, open space across your back, lengthen the spine. Spread the fingers, spread the toes, sink to the heels as you lift through the hips. The head relaxed. Feel your knuckles, connect through your knuckles and the pads of the thumbs and the outer wrist bones down. And take the right toes up and back, sweeping all the way to your edge. Get a stretch up the back of the left leg. Let's wiggle out the toes, circle the ankle. Stretch it long and then take looking forward. We'll step the right foot up and drop the left knee down. And square the right knee directly over the right heel. If you need to bring that left knee up farther for support, if your hip or knee aren't comfortable, feel free, or slide a blanket under your knee. With an inhale, we'll sweep the fingers up overhead. Squaring forward by a subtle shift into the left hip, feel the right heel connect. We'll take the elbows down, cactus arms as you lift to your heart. Open, and then exhale, drawing the palms together and bow. Inhale, sweeping the fingertips up. Lift, exhale, palms together and bow. And one more time, sweep all the way up. And lift. Exhale, we'll take the fingers all the way down to the mat. Stepping back, plank position. Dropping the shoulders, reach forward through the crown. Symmetry through the body. In form, in place. No more strain than you need to maintain your position, taking the right toes up if possible. Follow the right toes back. Three-legged dog, hugging the navel in, even weight through the hands. Let the breath roll naturally. If possible, we'll stack that right hip over the left and allow the right knee to bend. Breathing space through the right hip. And stepping that right foot forward. A high lunge now, right knee directly over the right heel, snuggling the right ribs to the right thigh and taking the fingers out long. Length through the back of the neck. Balance the weight between the feet. Let's take the left hand down, right fingers rise, and we'll slowly turn some circles with the right fingers, bringing some space into the right shoulder. Take your time here, right fingers rise and we'll roll across the ribs, the right palm down, the left heel down, and sweeping the left fingers up, a warrior two. Lifting the right fingers. We've got a lot to do on the other side. We'll come all the way down. Spin it down. Stepping back, plank position. Or maybe just downward dog. I skipped plank altogether. Find your way to downward dog. We'll take a look forward and a step up with the left foot. Left knee directly over the left heel. Make sure that right knee is comfortable and safe. Just a little shift toward the right hip as we rise up. A little gentle fire in the core. Openness to the back of the head and neck. Lift our open heart toward the sky as the elbows come down, and then exhale. Pull the palms in and bow. Inhale, sweep it up. And open. Exhale. Pull the palms down. Quietly bow. Inhale, sweeping up. And open. And exhale, the hands all the way down. Stepping back, plank position. Find length, gentle strength. Symmetry through the mind, through the body. And hovering the left toes. The High Priestess asks what you know to be true. Lifting those left toes up and back. Maybe the High Priestess reminds us that we do know what is true. Opening that left hip. Maybe drawing a few circles. And then we'll look forward and gently step that left foot up. Lengthening back through the right inner heel and floating the hands up. Fingertips reach toward the side walls, shoulders melt down the back. One more deep breath. A quiet strength. The right hand down, the left fingers rise. We'll turn some circles with the fingers. One more time, reach up to the sky. Take the fingers down. I'm going to turn my back to you for a moment, dropping that right heel down, lifting up warrior two. Ground to that left heel, balance the weight with the right foot. Turn the left fingers up, palms up. Pull it back, all the way to your edge, all the way down. Stepping the right foot up. Let's hold. Letting go over your feet. I'm going to take my sweatshirt off, but keep it handy. Release, relax. Maybe shift the weight one heel to the other. And then we'll find center. So let's take the right fingers to the outside of the left calf or the outside of the left ankle. We'll walk the left fingers forward. You can have a block here if you want to, or to the floor in front of you. We're going to give a gentle pull, bending that right elbow as you pull the heart to face left and take a look under the left arm. And breathe into this twist. And then we're going to gently find center and other side, taking the right or the left hands to the outside of the right shin or ankle. Walk the right fingers forward and pull gently your heart to look under that right arm, your heart and your gaze. Allow that breath to bring space through your body. And now if you were facing the front wall, if you could turn sideways on your mat, we're going to step our feet wider apart. Keep our hands right where they are, in a straight legs, flat back position, the feet wide and a nice even weight. We're going to scan for a moment through the body, just noticing your toes, pads of your feet and your heels, weight to the heels and the outer blades of the feet, scanning through the ankles, looking for symmetry. All the way up through the backs of the legs, the knees, hamstrings and thighs into the hips. Notice if there's any tension or holding in either hip. And we're going to move the left hands toward the center line of the body and sweep the right fingers up toward the sky. So maybe your edge is here. Maybe you can reach all the way up. Keep a softness through the left elbow as you open across the heart and shoot your energy up through the right fingers. One more good deep breath. And gently take that right hand down. We'll switch places. Right hand where the left hand was. Left fingers rise and open, growing out of the right palm. Open across the chest. Shoot it up through the left fingers. Maybe you turn to look up toward the left thumb, if possible. One more full breath in. We'll set it down. Let's take a bend to the right knee and just lean over toward the right. Holding here for a few breaths. And walking back over to the left and shift. Hips back to center. Let's take a little bend to the knees, the hands just above the knees. All right. Floating the hands up overhead. Quiet knees. Feel the symmetry through the body as the hands drop down behind, interlacing the fingers and working the shoulders a little closer together, growing into your heart space, taking the heart forward, lifting up through the fingers. So it doesn't matter how far forward you come here. You can have a block for support if you need to take the hands down. This isn't working for your body, that's fine. You can step the feet closer together if you need to. Maybe you're dropping the fingers down behind. Taking a little quiet bend to the knees, we'll begin to lift it back up. Turning the heels in, release the hands up overhead, and then elbows down. Appropriately for the High Priestess, sinking into our goddess pose. So connecting evenly through the heels, the tailbone weighted down toward the floor. So a little tuck of the tail. Then inhale, we'll rise. Lifting up into the heart. With an exhale, we'll bring the right arm under the left if possible. So that might not feel great to your shoulders, otherwise, prayer position. You can take the backs of the hands together or weave all the way into eagle arms. Tailbone weights toward the earth. Slow the breath. Bring the cosmos in through the breath. the way up. And we'll sink it down, either prayer position or the left arm under the right, weaving around. Maybe a full eagle arms here. Scanning the body, make sure you don't have more weight in one heel than the other. Make sure you're drawing full breaths. Stick with this if possible. One more inhale, we'll rise back out. Exhale, float the hands down, and gently we'll just step the feet back in. That is graceful. Let's just take a few standing breaths. Nice and clear. Inhale and rise. Exhale, float it down. Heart forward. Release. And then finding our gentle seat. We're going to come into potentially a Gomukhasana. So we took the hips wide. Now we're going to bring the legs together. So if possible, we're going to take the right knee and point it forward. It's a cow face pose. And the left knee potentially stacking on top like this. So for a lot of bodies, that knee is not going to come all the way to rest on top of the right knee. You can take a block in between. A block, I guess that would be kind of under the thigh if you need to. Aligning the knees as well as possible. If that's just not happening for your body, you can straighten that right leg out and just take the left leg across, trying to stack the knees again as close as you can. And if you have both legs curled in, you're going to take the thumbs into that indentation right next to the pad of the big toe and give a steady squeeze. Quieting down through the sits bones. Feel the breath roll and fill. If you would like to drop the brow forward, feel free. If you'd like to sit tall, feel free. Keep a nice consistent pressure on that indentation next to the pad of the big toe or toes, depending on if you have one foot forward. One more deep inhale. And we'll roll it back up. And one of my very favorite transitions in yoga. Some of you who know me probably know where we're going. Gonna keep your feet right where they are. Turn to the right. You can come all the way back into Gomukhasana on this side without taking your feet up. And if that seems like some impossible breakdancing at this point, I encourage you to play with it if you can have both legs crossed like this. So this side might be very different. If you need to have the left leg out long, even if you didn't on the other side, feel free. Make any adjustments you need. If you feel okay taking the thumbs again to that indentation next to the pads of the big toes, give a squeeze, growing tall. And you can really just breathe straight through the hips and stay here, or drop the brow down in the direction of the right knee. Quiet the shoulders. Let the breath roll. Lift our way back up. We take the hands down behind, take the legs wide. Ooh, crack to the hip in my case. Taking the feet down in front now, the shift of the knees side to side. Release the low back. Take the pad of the left foot down and the right ankle across the left knee, rising to the heart. Maybe a little shift here, side to side, opening into the right hip. And finding center. We'll take the left hand toward the midline of the spine, the right fingers to the right toes, or if you have the flexibility, working the right elbow toward the pad of the right foot. So you can stop a little shy of that as well. Make yourself reasonably comfortable. We'll inhale, growing long through the spine, and then exhale, turning to look over the left shoulder. Either pulling if you're holding the toes or pressing gently into the elbow to slowly find the edge of your twist. Breathing deeply. And gently unwind. We'll take the pad of the right foot down and the left ankle across the right knee. Grow up into your heart and take a shift side to side, opening that left hip just a bit. And now setting up our twist on this side, taking the right hand toward the midline of the spine, either holding the left toes with the left fingers and pull, or work the left elbow, or just shy to that pad of the left foot. Inhale and rise, exhale, gently pull or press into your twist. Make sure you're drawing a full breath at your edge. And gently untwist. Let's work those knees out again. And we'll take now an inversion. So, as usual, I'm going to give you a choice here. If you're on your moon, I would suggest keeping your hips to the floor and toes to the sky. Maybe palms up, shoulders walk down away from the ears. If you want to come a little bit higher, but you're not wanting to go into a full shoulder stand, which is the alternative, if you want to go into shoulder stand and you're comfortable, you know where you're going, feel free, pop right up. If you want to just get a little lift, being a block under the low back, see if that feels comfortable to you. You can stay right there. If you want to come into a shoulder stand, make sure your neck and shoulders are feeling like they can support this position today. Take the palms to the floor. We're going to begin to lift the hips and then roll one vertebrae at a time up through the spine, walking the elbows in a little closer together and rooting through the backs of the arms. Make sure there's not a lot of weight in the head and neck, but the arms and shoulders bear the weight, pressing back through the arms. So we feel this switch of sides. We get the grounding through the backs of the arms and a lift, a floating sensation from the hips all the way up through the toes. Maybe you like to take a variation here. And keep the legs wide. Open any joints. I always recommend walking in space and let the eyes close if that feels good. If you'd like to work your toes down toward plow, keep supporting your low back unless the toes come all the way to the floor. So if they're up here, just keep that back support. If they come all the way down, you can release your palms behind you. If you're all the way down in plow, maybe you want to drop the knees a little closer to the ears, deepening your posture. If your legs are bent, let's begin to straighten the legs. Now, even if your toes haven't come all the way to the floor, bracing, hands behind you, we'll begin to roll out very slowly, a little back massage. As you come down one vertebrae at a time, keeping the knees and the shins as close to your face as possible. We'll roll it out. Bring the low back to the floor. As the low back connects, let it settle, engage the core, and if it's okay with the low back, we'll take the heels down together nice and slow. Inhale, lift the toes back up if possible. You can do one leg at a time if that's too much for your low back today. Exhale, heels down. And again, if you're on your moon, just take it slow and easy. Maybe long, deep breathing for you today, especially the first few days of your cycle. Maybe one more time. Strong core. Sink to the low back. We'll take the toes back up to the sky. Hug the knees into the chest. Release. Let it all go. A little shift side to side. And we'll catch our feet for our happy baby pose. Either outer blades of the feet or shins if that's more comfortable to your body. Working the legs or the knees down toward the outsides of the body in the direction of the floor, and maybe continuing to shift out the spine. And maybe take the legs wide. So let's get ready for Shavasana and make yourself comfortable. Make sure you're warm enough, so grabbing another layer if you need it, maybe some socks. If your house is a little chilly, maybe you want a blanket. But as you're ready, we're going to come down to the back. And take the heels toward the outer edges of the mat and let the toes flap out to the sides and walk the shoulders down away from the ears and take the palms up beside you. And feel the gentle weight of your body. You, the observer of your body. You are life. You are the observer of life. So allow the eyes to relax. Allow space to fill your mind. The face relaxes. Space for your whole head as it rests back. Space through the jaw and the throat. Clear, open, and spacious. The throat, the sides and back of the neck, and the shoulders. And space through any holding and tension and knotting in your shoulders. Feel that wide, open, vast expanse of space through your shoulders and your upper arms, your elbows, lower arms and wrists, palms and fingers. Space through your heart, around your heart, your chest and upper back. Imagine space through your belly, all the organs and your sides. Space through the low backs and the pelvis and the hips. Space through the hip joints and the thighs and the hamstring. And space through the knees and the shins and the calves. Space through the ankles, the heels and the feet. Space through your toes. Returning to your stardust form for this meditation. Let yourself go. So allowing yourself to remain in this spacious state for as long as you'd like to today. Open to truth, open to the mysteries. I'm going to take now a deep breath in and chant Om. You can join me or you can stay. Namaste.